Podcasting. Is this thing on? Podcast N. An audio program in a compressed digital format, delivered over the internet to a subscriber and designed for playback on computers or portable digital audio players, such as the iPad. As you can see by the definition, the term podcast is more about the delivery mechanism than anything else. But as the medium has evolved over the past several years, you'll often hear people refer to audio downloads as podcasts. There are also video podcasts, see Chapter 16. Here, we are focusing on audio. Podcasts are a great way for your organization to share audio content with your audience. Although online video is considered sexier than audio, you can easily consume videos while driving, walking on a treadmill, or working on a spreadsheet in the office. Think about all the places that your audience might enjoy accessing your content, and where audio would work better than video. Quite a few, right? Podcaster, blogger, and speaker Mitch Joel, who is the author of 6 Pixels of Separation Business Plus, 2009, agrees that podcasting appears to have lost some of its appeal in recent years, particularly as video has boomed. But podcasting remains one of the best ways to produce content, because it allows you to essentially be the program manager of your own radio station. What's more, unlike traditional radio, podcasting allows you to target as narrow an audience as you wish, so your show can draw a very specific audience of qualified listeners. As Mitch suggests, think about a podcast as your company's own radio show, during which you discuss topics that would interest your customers. There are podcasts about every topic imaginable. Mitch's 6 Pixels of Separation focuses on the changing world of marketing. Manic Mommies looks at the life of working mothers, and the Chillcast with NGB highlights some of the most mellow music on the internet. There are also networks of podcasts that curate regular shows around specific topics. SQPN was started by Father Roderick von Hogen to showcase podcasts that are faithful to the teachings of the Roman Catholic Church, for example. Here are 9 points to think about as you consider producing a podcast. Chapter 20 also offers some great tips for creating a successful podcast. 1. You likely already have the equipment you need. You can spend tons of money on fancy equipment, but you probably already have what you need to start. If you've got a headset and microphone, perhaps one you use for VoIP calls, or a laptop with a built-in microphone, you have what you need to get started. Audacity is great recording software that's free. If you have a Mac, you probably have GarageBand pre-installed on most Macs, which is another great tool for recording and editing audio. 2. Export your audio from videos. Video editing software has the ability to export just the audio of any video, so if you've already begun recording videos, then why not also reimagine them for release in audio? Content rule number 5. This won't work for every type of video, of course, but audio from a presentation, speech, or interview might stand well on its own. 3. Listen before you record. What are some of your favorite audio shows, and why? Spend some time on iTunes exploring podcasts to get a sense of varying approaches. Do you like a casual and conversational roundtable approach? Are you more interested in a button-up talk show approach? Spend some time listening to the kind of podcasts that engage you. 4. Keep length in mind. How long should your podcast be? Keeping it under an average commute time is a good rule of thumb. In other words, under 30 minutes. Of course, that's not an actual rule. Bloggers Shel Holtz and Neville Hobson have for years produced, twice a week, 1-hour episodes of their popular business podcast, for immediate release. 5. Publishing is easy-ish. You can use your blog to publish your podcast files. Most blog CMSS content management systems can easily accommodate audio files. You need merely upload the file to the blog publishing platform. It's easy-ish, because the ease of the experience depends on what publishing platform you use. Pick up a copy of Podcasting for Dummies, Won Wiley & Sons, 2008. We'll walk you through the particulars. 6. Submit to iTunes. There are other podcast directories, but Apple's iTunes is the premier place to be listed. You can do so directly from the iTunes storefront. Click on Podcast, submit a podcast. There is generally a 2-week lag time before you are listed. 1. Plan before hitting record. Some people can record podcasts off the cuff, as EC does when he records Managing the Gray. But we advise that before you hit the record button, you write out some basic notes about the topics you want to discuss, links you may reference, and items that you want to make sure not to forget. When the red light is on and the tape is rolling, so to speak, you'll be comfortable with what you are talking about. In addition, it's good practice to also display show notes that include links to whatever you're discussing on the podcast. By creating notes ahead of time, you'll simplify the task, and won't have to transcribe after you are done recording. S. Use music wisely. Music is a great way to open and close a show, but use only music that you have full permission to use. You can find many clips of royalty-free music online, but another option is to license a track from an independent musician. Plenty of musicians would likely love to work with you for the exposure it would bring them. Don't use commercial music or something from your CD collection. Unless you license the tracks, which is not cheap, you'll be in violation of copyright laws. 9. Editing is your friend. As N says, everyone needs an editor. And that includes podcasters. Take the time to listen to what you've recorded and tweak anything that might need tweaking. This applies especially to interviews, when you'll need to get rid of any periods of silence, as the guest ponders a response. Some podcasters also clean up the ums and ahs that many are prone to include in their speech. Before we end this chapter, we want to remind you that very few people think that they have a good voice for radio, so if that thought is in your head, you are not alone. But the truth is that you shouldn't be the one to judge. Leave it up to your listeners. Also, a little secret that most successful podcasters don't talk about is that everyone's first few episodes are lacking. Just as with anything, finding your stride takes time. After recording a few episodes, you will feel more comfortable with the process. And you'll have more fun with it, we promise. Plus, remember that you are the one controlling the publish button. If it is really bad, no one else has to ever hear it.